Yo guys, how you doing? We're back with the Armiger again, and as you can see over the weekend we managed to block in all of that trim in black, finish off our highlights, and of course get those shades in on this really cool purple up to blue armor. I'm really liking this. First thing we're going to do today is going to finish off that trim. We've got some dark neutral grey and we've got some bright neutral grey from ProAcryl. We'll be using those to give us some highlights on the extremely matte black trim. Then I'm hoping today we can move on to doing some freehand. We'll be doing freehand in orange, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. In the chat we've got Pinbot 5000, how you doing? Crooked Grin, Snake Plissken, I'll print you one. Des, also thank you for the host earlier on, Des. Gumbalina. Hope you guys are all okay. Crooked Grin says, so grumpy, didn't get a notification and missed Saturday. Well, Twitch has an unfortunate habit of allowing this sort of thing to happen. And it's a shame. Do I use this one or not? What's up? No, haven't used this one. Cool. So this is why every single stream I put out a message on Instagram, which puts out a message on both Facebook and Twitter for me. A-Cold getting his sub on. Thank you very much, bro. Yeah, Insta, Facebook, and Twitter will all get a notification when I go live, because I put up a picture of what we're going to work on, maybe a couple of words about what we're going to do, and we go from there. So if you never want to miss a go live notification, go to either of those three social platforms, !social, give us a follow, ring the bell, do the other social media stuff and things. I promise you I have some idea of what I'm talking about with this. And you'll be able to never miss a stream ever again, ever. And wouldn't that be great? Okay, wouldn't that be great? We got Epic Ants, Viking, Azorb, and Conradson just joined. Hey, how you doing? Zorb says my sleep start is coming tomorrow. Nice, very nice. Danny says I've got my crons all blued up. Good stuff, dude. Who else has been getting their hobby on? I've got a desk that is covered in hobby right now. We're working on these guys. So you got some robots in red. They're looking cool. They're looking very cool. I've had issues constantly with the camera not wanting to focus on these. Tony Spruce, thank you for that host, dude. Much appreciated. There you go. Got some robots. We've got all of the guns, the fists. Everything is magnetized with those. And we've got Belisarius Call off to one side in about 6 pieces ready to be painted as well. So loads of hobby on the desk. And I imagine tomorrow we'll be taking delivery of the next commission that I want to do just after this, which is also going to be red. And that will be for some Blood Angels, courtesy of Wraith1 UK, who is occasionally in the chat here. So Wraith, if you're here, say hi. Don't be shy. Speak up, bro. These are a commission. These are for one of the members of Team Hellstorm, Tom. I'm so rough, never drinking ever again. Yeah, right. I mean, A-Cold, basically 60 Necron Warriors in preparation for the undercoat tomorrow. Hoping I won't run out of super glue before I'm done. Nice. Des says, building Primaris, Vanguard Vets, and Devs. Quality. Sons of Rolo, how you doing? Tony Spruce, been building more stuff. Nice. Cramblade, good evening, sir. How's it going? So this is almost invisible as a highlight. Which is going to be really good for some things, but it actually shows up well on camera. It's just almost nothing in real life. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of that bright warm grey, sorry, bright neutral grey, just mix that in now. so that we've got a little bit more of that difference. Nothing crazy, but I don't want to do 4 highlights for this step. I want to do 2, and the second one I want to keep really small. We're going to do the skulls worked up in this, and I'll get a little bit more of a gradual fade, because I do want them to kind of pop out a little bit more. Nick McDade, how you doing, brother? Love the color, good. Very bright. Proper nice fade on it as well, purple to blue. Loving it. How are you, man? Just finished Nick's commission not long ago with his apothecary. That was used in our how to paint white video that's up on YouTube now. That's had some really, really good feedback. So huge thank you to everyone that's watched the video. And if you haven't, give it a shot. If you want to know how to paint white without the aid of an airbrush, I'd say this is probably the easiest tutorial that you'll get to do a quality job. You know, we could all just like, well, here's some grain and you dry brush some white or something. That's never going to work. It's never going to look good, but technically you've painted white. This is not that. You guys know me. The tutorials will never be that. This is a good one. Good way to do white. I rate it anyway. Snake says, basically 2 Imperial Knights this evening. Nice. Can't believe that. May have started work on my Death Guard. Really? What prompted that? There's been nothing excited about Death Guard at all for ages, right? Death Guard are going to be pretty damn strong for a while. They are very, very durable. Very durable. And that durability is going to help win games. People are going to take a while to adjust to that. Most people know, oh, if I shoot this at there, then I'll kill that. And if I shoot this there, I'll kill that. And I'll charge the combat with this, and I'll kill that. And all of that like learned set of math that you might have for I know what my army normally does goes right out the window with the new Death Guard. Absolutely none of that gets kept. I might place an order from Death Guard tomorrow. Get on that bandwagon while it's there, man. They are a very tough army. They're very tough for my army specifically to deal with. Especially if they're in cover. If they're in cover, the Helverins are just not going to get the shots through. Tilts, what up? The fact they seem pretty strong in the army is a smaller model that makes it easier to transport. It is. It's not like Custode's small. But it is smaller. You know, it's an elite army, but it's not like a truly elite army. There's still quite a lot of options for creating a sort of horde aesthetic to your army, and I honestly think that a strong list is getting as many Plague Marines as you can. And then a couple of additional elements. Like, I really still like my Phytic Blight Haulers. I think they're great. I probably wouldn't bother with Poxwalkers or Cultists at all. The Smelly Flamer Man, still so good. Demon Prince, still so good. I know wings are expensive, but I still think wings is the right way to go on him. Just because he's a monster, not infantry, and therefore interacts with terrain really badly. Mortarion should be in everyone's list. And that's what I really like about the new book. I like the fact that Mortarion is absolutely phenomenal, and you're going to want to have him. So you can bring multiple greater demon models around me, mate. I travel with 3 knights and 3 baby knights. I get your pain. Tilts, hey, no problem, dude. I'm glad you're liking it. It's just for you, after all. And I really hope you have fun recreating it. And remember to not use oil paints. None of that. None of that. Ring Sting, how you doing, man? See, it's possible to find 100 points for teams of 10 to hold objectives or screen. Yeah, they're an okay screen. My only issue with them, this is my issue with a lot of stuff, is anything that restricts what you can do. I don't want it in my army. Now, I admit, I have an extremely restricted army. Like, most of my stuff can't do things that most armies can. For instance, none of my stuff can do actions. But I feel this helps me, when I'm examining other armies, come from a place of just ever so slightly more knowledge than some others. Because not having the option to do these things means that you understand what it's like to miss having that, because you've never had it. So maybe missing it isn't the right word, because obviously missing it implies that you've had it before, but you understand how much more tactical flexibility you have with those options. And so I would still take cultists for that. I really would. I don't care that cultists aren't OBSEC, because I might probably use cultists 2 units of 10 thrown in strategic reserve, outflank them in. That's an easy deploy scramblers, and it's a minimal investment. It's going to be like 1 CP and very little points, and I'll take that. I will take that. I'll quite happily pay those costs as well. And I think that's going to be a fairly valid tactic that a lot of other people will use, because it just makes sense. It's super easy. It gives you a fire and forget way of just smashing out an objective, and it means it's an objective that you are always going to get 10 points in. And with the changes we've seen to a couple of objectives, some of them are now harder to get. You're going to struggle at times getting 100 points. In fact, I've never managed to get 100 points out of a game. The closest I came, I think, was 97 or 98. So yeah. Finally back, subbed and watching streams, pal. Good stuff, Andy. Good stuff. Sorry I can't help you out with that commission just at the moment, but that's kind of a sorry not sorry thing, because obviously I'm really glad that I've got the business now, especially more than ever, because this is my full-time job in a couple of weeks. But if I get any cancellations coming, mate, I will let you know. Otherwise, like I said, just stay tuned to my social media stuff, !social. And when I'm in a position to be able to take more commissions again, which might not be till October, I will let you know. Science Pie, what up, dude? Definitely Crusader. But what you really want to do is magnetize the arms and magnetize the Top Gun. And also, ideally, the whatchamacallit, the Heavy Starburst / Melter Gun. And it's not actually difficult to magnetize. You've got to basically build a pad out of green stuff for some of it, so that a magnet sits in the arm a little bit easier. But that's not tricky. You know, that's very straightforward. Anyone can do that. You just jam in some green stuff and then make sure the magnet goes in around the right place for it. Sorted. Playing its new Death Guard last night on TTS with pure Witch Cult. It's close game to be fair. 10 points in it. New Morty is insanely good. Yes. Yes, he is. I actually think Morty is fairly pointed as well. 470 points. Which is a lot. I know that because the average unit in my army is 490 points. And Morty kicks the shit out of a knight. So much. So much. He won't one-shot it anymore. Which is what he used to be able to do with Death of the False Emperor, proccing off a fuckload of attacks, because now they don't have that. But I will not be able to kill him in a turn. Just no. Like if I fire a Crusader, an entire Crusader at Morty, I'm likely to get 2 hits with a thermal cannon, which will translate into probably 2 wounds. He'll save 1, I'll do 2 damage. Evil Gilmore, thanks for the follow. The Gatling cannon will fire 12 shots. I will hit with 8. I will wound with probably 3. He will save. Well, I suppose we're now at the weird bit, but he might take no damage from that, and that wouldn't be like outside the realms of possibility. So that -1 damage and a 5-up Feel No Pain and a 4-up Invulnerable save has made him extremely difficult to kill. Yeah, that's just rough. Knights are not big bads. I didn't end up killing Morty in the game, got another 7, and most of that damage just from poison weapons. Dark Lances didn't touch him. I imagine not. To be fair, Dark Eldar have got the easiest way of killing Morty, and that is just poison. Just mass spam poison weaponry straight into him. Because you don't care about the -1 to your damage, because it's all damage 1 weaponry. You don't care about the extra point of toughness, because it literally makes no difference to a poison weapon. So yeah, you're in probably the best position to down Morty, although not with a pure Witch Cult army, because really you want all the Splinter Racks and stuff going into him too. Interesting choice on the Witch Cult. I have a friend that was going to run a list of quite a lot of Witch Cult. I can't remember if the list was 180 models or it was 180 Witch Cult models. But it was witches and racks, and just hold the board. Like you can't kill all my shit. So thanks for turning up. And he knew he'd just grab all the objectives and would win the game. That was back in 8th, and those lists don't necessarily work in 9th because of how much more killy a lot of things are now. But with Death Guard coming out, and this is one of the reasons why I love 40k, right? This is one of the reasons why I absolutely love 40k. Every time a new book comes out, the meta shifts a little bit, and there'll be a load of armchair generals that they go in like, oh, it's the blah 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 blah, blah meta, and they have no idea what they're talking about. For instance, 9th came out and it was like, hordes are dead, close combat's dead. It's totally not true. Hordes are having a hard time with things right now. Or are they? Because with the Death Guard Codex Conan, Death Guard being strong, on top of already being relatively strong towards the end of 8th edition, because of the Psychic Awakening book they got, there's going to be plenty of players out there that have got a Death Guard army that are now thinking, I'm just going to buy another couple of units and put that on the table. This means that there's going to be more Death Guard players, which means that clever tournament players will be sat there going, okay, I'm going to take insert X faction here, which means I need to be able to get rid of Death Guard, and so therefore I need to stop packing in damage 2 weapons and either go for damage 3 weapons, which are not easy to come by. There's not a humongous amount of those in the game, but I need that to chew through them, or I need massed 1 damage shots, so just make them roll dice until they all die. Now that means that army is also equally good against hordes, but if there happens to be a lot of weaponry, let's say we get a new book such as this campaign book they're talking about, that does shift a lot of people's weapons into that damage 3 category, and they're like, well, actually I can just take some good low number of shots but high quality of shots damage 3 weapons. I've got my plan for Death Guard sorted out. If that's the way it goes, suddenly hordes a bag, because you'll never chip through a horde. So this is one of the things I absolutely love about 40k, is it everything about the game changes when one book is released. It's great. Played Witchcom 4th Ed and wanted to play him again for the past couple of years at the fun army alongside my competitive Dark Angels. Nice. I think a lot of people think that those points are the wrong way around, or that was meant to be a 2, not a 1. Gonna field the Nightbringer more often in order to counter Morty and Warriors with Reapers. Strength 5 to get past the T7. I like the Nightbringer, I do, but you have to be a good player with him. He'll always get shit done in the game, but then he'll die quite quickly, because you really only get 4 turns, 4 phases of your opponent doing some damage before he's usually gone. And so you've got to play that cleverly. Now, there's so much mortal wound potential for the Death Guard that they will have absolutely no issue getting rid of the Nightbringer. You'll still have those turns, but they will be able to do mortal wounds to sort of make up for a bunch of damage not going through. Maybe if you get spiked on saves and so on. So they have answers to that. He's still really, really good at just going, and you're dead, to a big thing though. He's fucking terrible, as it turns out, as I found out, at killing Deathwing Terminators though. You just can't kill him. Just can't kill him. It took me 3 rounds of combat to kill a Deathwing Terminator Command Squad, which I think was only 3 models. And that included me using my Gaze of Death, Psychic Power-y, Catan stuff. You know, all that jazz. It was... God, it was a shit show. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Would you see a decent list of Marines based off of Indomitus with additions for 2K? Another Indomitus. Also, I wouldn't take Emperor Spears. By all means, paint them as Emperor Spears. But Emperor Spears are being given the Ultramarine Codex treatment because they are a legit Ultramarine successor. And so it makes perfect sense that that is the Codex traits that they're given. But even their traits that they're being given aren't great at all. I think one is extra range and the other one is oh god, it's something that's just kind of trivial. So by all means paint them as Emperor Spears, but I probably would play them as anything else. I'm going to start a Deathwatch army. After you've done the Necrons, we're going to start a Deathwatch army. We're going to come up with our own colour scheme, and the entire army is going to be probably blue, like a dark blue, and bone, and have the silver Deathwatch arms. on the one side, so that way I'll be able to play them as Deathwatch, I'll be able to play them as whatever flavour of Marines I want, because I can put them down as being essentially like an inquisitorial force. So we'll have all of the options for the Marines. Jason1926, cheers for that follow, bro. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. But I've got most of an Indomitus set to have a play with to start things off, and we can work up from there. Assault Plasma Interceptors are good. They're really good. Deathwing 2 is very strong currently, especially in Knights that are running below 10. Yeah, my opponent had probably a little over 20 in his list. That was tough. I had not really a lot of DACA. Do you think the Lord of Contagion would go the way of the plastic Death Copter? I'm not sure what you mean by that, because the plastic Death... Do you mean everyone will want to buy the model because it isn't anywhere? Because I thought the Lord of Contagion was released as a standalone thing. Tilt's wheel tires get slashed at a tournament if you obviously Emperor Spear schemes Blood Angels. No. I mean, you're more likely to get your tire slashed at an event if you turn up and just are a cock. So, just remember rule 1: don't be a dick. You'll be fine. They're also all in exactly the same book now, so you just say I'm a Blood Angel's successor, but for rules purposes for this tournament, I'm not a successor, I'm a Blood Angel. Hicko, what up, bro? Drew Curry being delayed. Yeah, we all want our stuff. Like, I want this book that they said about where you can play as an army of just Freeblade Knights. I never intend, unless it happens to be super good, to run as an army of Freeblade Knights. That's not on the cards for me. What I want is in that book, if they're going to give you the option to run any knight as a Freeblade, I want updated weapon profiles, because they're going to have to do that in that book. And as I just said, an entire Crusader probably does between 3 and 4 wounds to Mortarion. Just goes to show that we just can't put out the firepower anymore. Not sure what to do with the boxes and minis I've got. Assemble blindly or wait. I would just get stuff built. Alright. There's going to be a few things that you can't use. There's going to be a few things that you might want a few extra of. But let's be honest, mate. There's a load of stuff there that if you buy and build basic dudes, you can't really go wrong. Let's say, for instance, that blasters become 25 points. It won't happen, obviously. But say a blaster becomes 25 points. You might not want to take a blaster in every unit. And so you might end up with a couple of blasters sat there doing absolutely fuck all, and you might have to buy an extra couple of Cabalite Warriors. But you're probably going to buy an extra of Cabalite Warriors anyway. Like, at some point, you're just going to do it. Do you think I couldn't tell you about base sizes? Like, let's see if it's Salamander at some point. It could happen. It could happen. Remember all of the giveaway stuff we do, and we've got another giveaway mini to announce later on this evening in about half an hour. All the giveaway stuff is painted in a colour scheme of your choice. Now, speaking of giveaways, I need a favour from y'all. That's right. We went with a y'all. On Tuesday, as most of you know, because we kept harping on about it, it's my birthday, and I much prefer to give than to receive, and so I am doing a giveaway on Tuesday, a mid-month giveaway. We don't normally do this. We are giving away Khan the Betrayer. Here he is. He's assembled. He's been undercoated. What I don't know, though, We know how to paint him. I'm going to paint him in the blue and white old school heresy color scheme because it's the best one. What I don't know is how to do the base. So there is a straw poll link right there. Go and click the boxes and tell me what you would like to see as this guy's basing scheme. It's up to you folk. You get the choice. You guys chose the mini. You guys chose the color scheme. Now you guys get to choose the basing scheme. On Tuesday night, we're going to start the stream early. We're going to start at 4 p.m. So way earlier than normal. We're going to stream for about 8 hours. And I'm going to try and get Khan done in that time frame. That's a lot of work to do. He is not a mini that they skimped on the detail. He really, really is not. So tune in for that, because at the end of the stream, it's being given away. It's not my miniature. It belongs to the stream. And so it's going to go to one lucky subscriber as my gift to you guys. Right, so we've done most of the trim. We've got one bit left, and then we've got some heights to do. Oh, actually, no, we haven't. We've got to do these bits as well. Must remember. Time to win 2 giveaways in a row. I mean, it's happened. Haven't had anyone win the mini twice in a row. But we have had a repeat winner for the mini. Polly Wants a Cracker. Got both the Invicta claws and also a like a Nurgle Underworlds mini that we painted up as like a slightly deformed barbarian for his D&D campaign. So that was cool. That was very cool. Look, contains the only character model not released, mostly because it's on the same sprue as the Blight drone. Weird, because I thought I remember him going out. Or is it that they have essentially you have the Lord of Contagion because Felthius is the Lord of Contagion? Cheers, dude. Glad you like it. This was dark purple, and then that was blended up with a mixture of sky blue. These are all ProAcryl paints that we've used. We didn't use ProAcryl on metallics, we don't have any, and we did end up just going metallic on all of this, and it's going to look really, really good, as you can see against the blue there. Bricky! Holy shit! Bricky! How are you doing, brother? We've got a big old raid. Everyone, make these people feel welcome. Bricky died but says hello. Oh, shit. Poor guy. Poor guy. Bob the Guy, the Jackal, Bong Draws, Potus Cthulhu, Sir Lancelot, Casual Sheepy, Fluffy Hope, Phage of Nurgle. Bricky couldn't make it, but he brings you bread. Good lad. Beer or Hamster? Definitely beer. Colonel Stalin, the Wolf of Wub Street. Sad Story, JD Pearl, hang on, Japanese Symbol Throw Beginner, right, sorry it took me a while, Nerd Paul Wilhelm, Linax, Science Pie, Slayer of Hellworm, Mr. Fool 7, Lord Comments like Yarrick's here, holy shit, on your feet everyone. He's got to fight 6 whole ass dreadnoughts later today, oh no. Okay, well, good for him. You bring bread, I'm glad, guys. Thank you very much. Noah Treble, thank you for the follow. I think I probably missed a couple of follows. Potus Cthulhu, thank you. And Crazy Tex, before that one comes up as well, thank you as well. That was a big drop-off. Stepman Spoonie, how you doing? So today we are painting an Armiger. This was one of the giveaway minis we did last month. We paint them in the following month and send them out to the winners in the color schemes that they have chosen. Sky Legend, J Dragonfire. I think that's a J Dragonfire. Yeah. Both of you guys, thank you very much for that follow. To anyone who was here before, if you don't follow Bricky, do give him a follow. Every time I go to see if he's doing something hobby related for a raid, it turns out he's playing some video game. But he does do some pretty damn good Warhammer content. He's of course a member of the Dice Check guy, sort of team, the team house we could call it, I suppose. And they had their epic tournament not long ago. So definitely worth a follow back. Stepmaster Spoonie, Manthos12, cheers for the follows. He's playing Necrons right now. Good for him. Good for him. I'm loving Necrons, mate. Just finished off a commission of the Silent King and Void Dragon with a little converted Amrikir Traveller as well. Like I was saying, this is the Armiger Warglaive that we are giving away. This was given away last month to Tilts. Let me choose color scheme. Johnny McAwesome. That's a quality name. So, working with some ProAcryl paints right now. And you see we've got a lot of highlights coming down on some armor trim. We're nearly finished on the armor trim for its first highlight. The second highlight won't take long at all because it's going to be a lot smaller than this. This highlight essentially just bringing out all of these bits of detail, allowing us to see what's going on in the mini. And then we're going to do some freehand. We're going to get the oranges in these ProAcryl sets out, see what we've got from them. I'm going to do some check marks. Don't know what else. Don't know what else. So you know your shit. I'm planning on doing custom conversions to make my Deathwatch into the Expendables. Any advice where I can get custom made heads for that? Check out places like Stripe. Hang on. Cybor. Cromlech. Those are probably two of the bigger ones, but then things like Pop Goes the Monkey for some 3D printing stuff. That's where I'd start. Is it worth checking your sub numbers after all that? Have we got the magic number? Do you mean followers? Probably not, mate. Probably not even close. We needed something like oh damn, what was it? I think last time I looked, I needed something like 180-ish. So, yeah, I'm not fussed. If you guys do want to sub to something, though, you can !YouTube and go and help me out on that. I'm trying to hit 1,000 there before the stream's next birthday, which is in April. Where we've got a crazy giveaway planned that I keep hinting at shit. I'm not telling anyone what it is, but I'm getting some crazy guesses back. The last stream's birthday, we painted and gave away a custom Chaos Knight. So this was a hand-cast resin Chaos Knight that we painted up in the old school World Eaters colours. More on that, because we painted some more old school World Eaters colours, the blue and white, on Tuesday night. And we gave that away. And this year, for a birthday, for the stream birthday, I should say, we are doing something that is both bigger, yet at the same time smaller. And it's still 40k. We've had guesses from like Warhound Titan. Like, no, not this year. It could happen, but not this year. I could paint a Warhound Titan in the weekend. Easy. Wouldn't be no plain ass colour scheme either. When you get Chaos Knight, it was just a one-off thing. No, that was a guy called Balefire Forge. Balefire, I'm going to say, was a Twitch streamer. I haven't seen him in just this side of forever. Shit, just got a little of that on the blue. Have I got a Warhound? No, I haven't got a Warhound. Warhounds are fucking terrible. If you play Apocalypse games and stuff, by all means, get yourself a Warhound. If you don't, don't. They had their moment in the sun where everyone was completely abusing things like Void Shields on Warhounds back in, say, 6th or 7th edition. And they've been absolute arse ever since. Frowned. Cheers for that follow and welcome. And Soda Beach, I guess, one of the two. Thank you for the follow as well. If you paint a Titan on the weekend, it would just be a huge Hazard Stripes. Soda Bitch. That'll do. Cheers, man. I'm afraid the dyslexia is strong in this one, and so sometimes just normal names are tough, let alone things with definitely not enough characters in the letter. In the word, rather. Normal game. Cheers for that follow too. So yeah, fun things going on the birthday. Miss Half Damage, I did see you in there as well. There you are. And Abandoned Lost Arms, how's it going, champ? I painted Warhound Titan, just paint the base colours. You'd have to do more than that. Recess01, thank you for the follow. Maybe for the stream's 3rd birthday it'll be a Warhound Titan. But I'm liking the plan that I've got for the 2nd birthday. Because it's going to be cool. I can start promoting it a little bit towards the end of next month. Well, it's a little closer to the time. There's going to be a lot of decisions made by chat, put it that way. Always put you guys in the driving seat of our giveaways. And make sure whatever I'm giving away, you guys want. Giveaways, Necronthon Part 2 for sure. No, that's going to happen at the end of February. As long as I can get everything assembled in time. I got 6 weeks. And my buddy can't assemble it for me, he hasn't got enough time. So I've got to do it. It should be doable. If I can get a unit done a day, or a unit done a week rather, for the first couple of weeks, we'll be alright. Subscribe for dinner, hope to catch the stream again. Love the music, by the way. Peace. Sky Legend, take care, man. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Again, huge shout out to Bricky for bringing all your here. Sorry he couldn't hang about. We'll pay him back with a raid again at some point in the future. Right. So that's our first set of highlights down. You can see we've just got some shape given to us now. One of those super matte black areas. Now I'm going to take a little bit more of that light neutral grey, is it called? Bright neutral grey. I knew it was something like that. Mix that in. And then we'll work up a quick set of round 2 highlights. These will be small. They'll be on things like the rivets, the corners, and so on, just to put a little ping on whatever it is that we're doing. So use this as an example, like just here in the middle at the front. We've got a lot of highlights that sort of intersect around there, so we'll hit them. Nice and straightforward. Leading edge across there, right towards the front. That obviously is going to get pulled up with a highlight, but not all of that part will. And so on, right? Matman0111, cheers for the follow. But anyway, enough about the stream birthday giveaway. That's not for ages. It's not for April, man. That's practically a new year. We've got a giveaway on Tuesday night for kind of a tray. If I can get an exclamation point gift in the chat, please. For my birthday, which is on Tuesday, I would prefer to do something and give back to my community. Always said I would rather give than receive. You can take that how you like. But we are painting up Khan the Betrayer. This was chosen by the community. They've chosen the paint scheme as the blue and white old school pre-heresy paint scheme. And now the straw poll link in that poll, I need you all to click it and go and vote for how you'd like him based. Now at the end of that stream, one lucky subscriber is going to take this guy home. He's theirs. This is not my mini, this is the stream's mini, and therefore I need the stream to decide how they want the basing done. Let's check out how that's going so far. Let's look at the answers that we've got. So, on the screen we've got Skulls and Blood coming in right at the top with 9 votes. Tied for second place, we have Red Marble and Warp Themed with 8. Mud and Blood at 7. Icy, Xenos Planet, Beach, and Lava. Lava right down there at the bottom. I kind of expected a few more votes for Lava, but okay. Okay. Skulls and Blood, though, I mean, that's a pretty good choice for the most famous of all World Eaters. I can see that being something that we might end up doing. Currently in top place. If you want to keep it there, go vote. If you want to get it off the top place, go and vote. Vote for something else. Maybe there's enough people here and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We want Khan at the beach. I'm expecting a sandcastle, like a little towel, one of those umbrellas that you sit behind, and I want Khan kicking sand in some kid's face. You know, perhaps that's the direction the stream wants us to go in. That's what we'll do. Just need the votes, so go vote. It's going to be a really off-color joke then. I decided against it. Red Marble. Red Marble, yeah, that's a good choice because that's going to ping off really well against the white and blue. And obviously we can break out our marble techniques. I made a YouTube video about that. That went down really well. I think marble fast. It is fast as well. Can't complain on that one. That sounds pretty tempting. The beach scene, that, hell yeah, man. Says enough green stuff work to make it to the next stream birthday. No, mate. No. We're fine with green stuff like that. I made a Super Mario World style tube, one of those green pipes that you used to go down. I made one of those for a... oh, which one was it? Sporepox Scrivener. That was it. Took me a while to remember the Nurgle name. Shouty Demon was the one. I'm always down for fun stuff like that. This is why we did the Invicta based on Father Christmas. The bad Santa bot from Futurama. Like, why not? Why not? Right, just going to hit the corners at the top there, and then a couple of little tiny highlights underneath these rivets. Super small. Bam, done. So that's that panel finished off. Apart from freehand. Still got freehand to do. So what else should we do? We're going to do some like checkers, that's for sure. This is definitely a loyalist night, not a chaos night. So doing things like parts of Chaos Stars and stuff, that's right out. Did you say Green Stuff World is the best place to get it, or did you mention a place that sells it cheaper? Yeah, Green Stuff World. But check out Element, exclamation point Element, for a link. And they sell a lot of Green Stuff World stuff. And so they might just have green stuff from Green Stuff World on there. Now, it might not be, because, let's be honest, they also sell Needetite, which is the correct name for green stuff, that is produced by other companies at a much higher price. So they never sell that stuff. You know, gotta go. Have a brilliant stream. Catch you next time. Take care, bro. Take care. Facial logo. No, it's not Slanesh themed. It was just we went with some colours that were a little bit out there. We were asked to do purple and orange, and then I said, well, look, why don't we do like purple and a turquoise? And the turquoise has come up a lot more blue than a normal turquoise colour, but it is a loyalist night. I still haven't done the stream on the weapons. We'll do that another time. Fuck it. I want to do a free hand today. I want to get to the free hand. The free hand is like the goal. Mostly because I want to fuck around with the ProAcryl oranges. Like, they have impressed me a lot with their pigment and how matte their paints are, how easy they are to apply, and the kind of coverage that you get from them. And I want that to kind of keep going for me. So we're going to try out their oranges and see how it shapes up. Still waiting for my Scale 75 paint set from Element. Unlucky, bro. Get in touch. Head over to their website, use the web form. I find that is a pretty good way to speak to the guys there. And every time I've done it, I've had nothing but the best customer service from them. I can't complain at all. So, well worth. Anyway, you guys can see what I'm doing tonight before I reveal the next mini in this month's mystery box giveaway. Exclamation point mystery. What have you been working on? Who is doing some hobby, chilling at home? What have you got going on? What's on your desk right now you're trying to avoid? What are you looking forward to painting? Fair, we'll do that tomorrow. Good stuff, dude. Honestly, like they've never given me a hard time. They've always helped me out as much as they can. So a certain package from middleweight person. Fuck's sake, that's still not turned up. They were all sent in November. It was November, right? Not December. Was it December? I can't even remember when we did that stream. I'm sure that was November. Damn, was it? Code and Brexit. Yeah, but mate, that should have been at your house way before Brexit. Oh, COVID thing, sure. I totally understand. That's messed with your postman quite substantially, but damn. So Plague for Nurgle, or sorry, Fake for Nurgle. Nurgling a Vindicator, nice. Squeezer, what up, dude? Des is green stuffing some cables. Epic Ants is putting together a Sorcerer Intimidator armor, looking at a lot more metal than my first plan, and digging it a lot. Awesome, dude. Awesome. He needs to be totally metal though, so paint him as an Iron Warrior. Oh yeah. Been finishing Morty now. I have a new arm for him, but my skills improved in the last 2 years, so I'm not happy with him. Might finish, sell, then buy a new one. Hey, now is a good time for that, bro. Definitely a seller's market right now for Death Guard bits. Everyone and their brother is going to want some of the Death Guard action. Very tough looking army, and I mean that in the most emphatic sense. They look nails. Going to be a lot of I won't say filthy net listers, because there aren't really any net lists out there right now, but a lot of meta chasers, meta players that are going to be all over that Death Guard codex, you know. Me, I'll stick to my knights, and we'll find a way to kick ass as always. Did make it harder though. Did make it a lot harder. On the plus side though, that fucking rot furnace thing, that got nerfed. Oh god, was that tough to deal with. Real tough to deal with. Trying to if it's worth that, just buying a Void Dragon and putting my Gypsy on it. Mate, I don't know why. I understand why you've gone the way you've gone. I get it, I do. But I don't know why you just get a Void Dragon. The Void Dragon is an epic, epic mini. Wraith! What up, dude? I'm playing Apex with my mates. D&D Dark Heresy. Nice. Nice. I'm looking forward to that new Left 4 Dead style game to come out. I can never remember what it's called. Dark Tide? No, it's not Dark Tide. What the fuck is it? I don't know. Don't know. The Easy Bake Oven was just insane. It's cool. It is Dark Tide. Oh, damn it. Well, that was right. Yeah, really, really looking forward for that. Mel's been shy. I ordered paint on December 6th. We're supposed to get it on December 15th. I got it yesterday, but already went and bought it in person. So now it's not extra, which is fine. Well, extra paint, never an issue, bro. I'm a commission painter, so I have a lot of paint. I have a big pile of, like, here's paint that I've had to buy because I know I'm going to run out of this paint on this commission and so on, so I'm going to need it. Ugh. It's going to be a while before I get some of it, but I can't risk running out of some of those things as well. So, see, in it you will, dude. In fact, I want to do a little bit of a stream when the game comes out. Do a little bit of a community fun one. And maybe do some Discord games just for Patreon members or something. I think that would be cool. So, joining the Discord, especially with Discord, for potentially some fun teaching me how to play FPS games, because my skills are lacking. Very lacking. In most FPS games that are like man versus AI, I tend to play as a sniper kind of character, because I enjoy that kind of game. And this is definitely not that kind of game. This is a maybe not fast twitch thing like COD, but it's a game that's got a lot more running around, run and gun kind of action. Dark Tide, the new 40k game. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I played a lot of Left 4 Dead years and years and years and years ago. 1 and 2, really enjoyed those with buddies. I'm hoping for something that provides a similar experience. Obviously different stories and things like that, but in Left 4 Dead, the fucking Banshee girl. Oi. Oh no, that was terrifying. As soon as you heard the crying, everyone on their microphones just like, the witch. That's it. And the level where it's the corn up to your eyeballs, it's pissing down with rain and stuff. Oh, legit screams and terror on that level. It's fucking hilarious though. The witch was a load of nope. Yep, all the nope. Nope. No, I never played Alien Isolation. And no, I haven't played Vermintide. I nearly bought Vermintide 2 earlier on today. And I spoke to a housemate about it because I know he's played it. And I don't like first-person hack and slash. I appreciate it's part of the game for Dark Tide, but it looks to be a minimal part of the game for Dark Tide. Whereas Vermintide, it's most of the game is first person smashy, and I'm just not about that. That's not fun for me. Like I said, I prefer to play the sniper characters in things. So That's a little bit too much. I think if I end up getting a refund because Hermes lost more of Death Marks and second Ghost Arc, I'll buy a Void Dragon. Cool. Gonna cry and fear at the aliens. I love the Alien films. I love the Alien universe. I had a load of the Alien books that weren't even close to being like the films. Some of the Alien vs Predator crossover stuff that was super sick. Yeah, just a big fan of that universe. It's great. The AVP books were amazing. No AVP film has come close to being as good as those books. You start with the Witch Hunter, kind of also Dwarf, got a new class that's gun based. Oh really? You should play Eternal Crusade as Orcs with Jay. I've never played Eternal Crusade. Was that the 40k MMO? I played the Warhammer one, Warhammer Online. And I played that as a Black Orc because character blocking was a thing, except you could glitch it too easily. But as a Black Orc, I basically stood in doorways, proper Gandalf, you shall not pass style, and tanked players in PvP. I loved it. It was great fun. But the game was extremely paper, scissors, stone. So, Eternal Crusade is free. You can play Horde mode against Nids too. Fair. Phage for no. Cheers for that follow, bro. Glad you're liking the stream enough. AVP should be set in a Marine/Alien timeline. Last AVP had a good story though. Poor AI. Do you mean the last movie or the last game? Because the last movie was fine up till the end, and then it was fucking dire. My Amazing Pony, cheers for the follow. Getting glad you're liking the stream. Right, we are nearly at. In fact, we've just gone past 10 o'clock. So, on Sundays at 10, we tend to do a little bit of a reveal of what is going on in the giveaways this month. So every month we give away a £50 gift voucher in whatever your local currency is. So 50 quid's worth of dollars, marks, crowns, whatever. George, thank you very much, bro. 21 months. 21 months. Amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Love the support, George. Really appreciate it, mate. Gonna get those badges sorted out by the end of the month. I've got 13 days left. I will find a way of getting that done in time. Don't you worry. I don't want to take another fucking chili shot. So every month we give away a £50 gift voucher. Exclamation point win for some more information on that. In fact, Toonies Brews has done it already. What an absolute superstar. Then we give away a miniature. Now the minis are decided usually by the Patreon community over on Discord. And the first thing they asked to be put in a giveaway was this guy, Gorzag and Nickit, the new orcs for 40k. Absolutely amazing sculpts. Really, really looking forward to these. They've got so much character going on. They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. This guy steals the show. In fact, some would say he nicked it. But absolute badass. Nonetheless, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Although, why did I decide to give him teal fingernails for the first time ever on Orc? I have no idea. But that's the first one in the giveaway. So some subscriber could win this. However, the community has continued to vote today. That's Undead's getting his prime sub in 16 months. Cheers, brother. So today, the Patreon community voted for the Harlequin Shadow Seer to be put in there. Now, however, you guys want these painted, whoever wins it gets to decide. So if you win the Shadow Seer, You can tell me what kind of motley you want put on there. There's a lot of customization on this miniature. You get to tell me the color scheme of how you want it. So there's loads going on with that guy. Now, if you don't want either of these two things, we also have the mystery box. Now, currently the mystery box is empty. There's nothing in the box. But by next Sunday evening, this will have a miniature in it. Probably. If you decide you don't want either of these two things, you can gamble instead for the contents of the box. Now, the box has contained just a grot before, but it's also contained things like this Knight Armiger we're putting together, Eldar Wraith Lords. You know, there's been some very cool things in here. We've had some out of production minis in there before, some metal miniatures. We've had some very, very cool shit in there. So that will be filled up between now and next Sunday. And whilst you won't know what it is, you'll know there's something there. But these are the two minis that you guys can see in the giveaway. If you're a subscriber, tune in on the last show of the month. This month is the 31st, which I believe is a Sunday. And you can get yourself in on that. If you're a Patreon subscriber of video viewer tier or higher, you get an extra life in that giveaway, and you could win either the Shadowseer or Gorzag and Nickit this month. Not the mystery box though. That's special. So that's what's up for grabs. Money to spend on your hobby and miniatures painted by me, shipped out to you anywhere in the world completely free of charge. Much like, for instance, this Armiger. And let's not forget as well, exclamation point gift. We still need to know what basing scheme to do for Khan the Betrayer. Currently, I think it's a dead heat at the top. It is. At the top is a dead heat between Skulls and Blood and Warglaive. What should we do about that? You guys are going to have to go and vote. Exclamation point gift. Follow the link in the gift command. Go see that straw poll. Go vote. It's not my mini, it's the stream's mini. You guys have to decide how it's going to be painted. Right, last highlights on this bit, and then we just got the two really small lower leg plates to do, the ones around the ankle for this guy. And that's all of our armor trim done. We've kept these colors very neutral for our highlights to help really enhance how bright this section is in the middle. Really, really want that to stand out from miles away. It's got to be done. Bang it. Let's see. Potus Cthulhu says, just got into the hobby in the past couple of months and painted my first DA list. I think my first Assault Intercessors and Captain from the starter kit came out okay first attempt. Do you have advice for a new guy trying to get his models to that next level? So, when you're absolutely brand new, I wouldn't advise anyone to buy an airbrush. I use a lot of airbrush techniques in what I do. I love working with the airbrush, it's my favourite thing. And I am predominantly known as an airbrush artist. So, as you can see, we've got some brush skills, and by the time we get our freehand going on in about 10 minutes or so, hopefully that will really start to come out and shine. So I wouldn't advise to do that, though it is something you might want to look into later in your hobby sort of timeline. However, work on brush control. Brush control is absolutely key to everything we do as artists, right? Whether it's hitting tiny ass highlights on stuff or just getting the colors in the right areas, brush control is all consuming when it comes to that. Now, brush control, you can listen to a lot of people spout on about brush control, and they'll give you exactly half of the information, because everyone will say, oh, you know, make sure your hands are maybe together and your arms are by your side, or you're resting on a desk, or you've got some, you know, good light, and you're just barely touching the brush to the miniature and so on to get your highlights going on nice. And they're right. They're absolutely right. These are the bigger elements of brush control. Wouldn't necessarily say the main part, but it is a solid part of brush control. A bit they won't tell you, because it usually doesn't occur to them to talk about things other than the brush part of what they're just describing, is that most brush control actually has fuck all to do with you and your manual dexterity with the brush at all. Brush control comes from having paint the right consistency. If your paint is able to flow off the brush really, really easily because it's thinned correctly, then you'll be able to use the merest amount of pressure to have the result that you want. See, we're getting these tiny little dots, these little rivets, and we're barely touching the surface of the miniature. We're not having to jam the bristles on there and really sort of try hard to get that highlight. It just happens naturally. So as part of working on your brush control, I'd like you to think about the consistency of your paint. When you move your brush through the paint on your palette, your brush will be able to pick up paint easily and quickly, but without changing the overall shape of the brush. This brush is a size 1, and look at how sharp that point is. It's perfect. The brush is 100% loaded with paint. We could probably do the rest of the highlights on this little armor panel without going back to our palette. Yet because the paint is the correct consistency, that paint is just flowing off our brush. And this is the biggest thing. Brush control, like I said, it's not all about you waving around this thing trying to practice like you're doing some sort of ancient Japanese calligraphy where every brush stroke must be perfect. It's not just that. Because if the thing that you're trying to apply to the miniature isn't right, then neither will be your brush control. To be honest, I haven't spoken to Jason about it. I want to speak to him about that and the transparent banks, which I haven't had time. So, there you go. The other thing you can do, mate, is stick around the stream. I like to think that I'm a pretty good educator. We put a work in progress gallery up at the end of every stream. There are like a few minor exceptions to that where it's either super late or we've done something and run over or whatever it might be. But we try and do it every stream. And work on your painting and just work on being better today than you were yesterday. It's a trap. It's totally a trap to compare yourself to experienced painters. And I don't mean me. I've been painting for 20 years, but I mean people like Sergio Calvo, Rafael Lapica, Mark Masclans, Angel Heraldez, you know, all of these amazing names in miniature painting. Don't even try comparing yourself to them. Not when you're starting out. Because like everything that is worth doing, painting is a journey you have to go down. You have to start learning these skills. You have to start learning your brush control, learning the right consistency of paints, learning the right blends, the right methods to get stuff done. Meduso1, thank you for the follow. It's a path, and you have to find your own path and learn your own style. This is why my stuff tends to look different to a lot of other people's, is because I found my path. It took me about 15 years to find my path. And my stuff is different because I have chosen to embrace this way of painting above all others. So we use small amounts of edge highlights. We don't do this fucking heavy metal drawing boxes around everything shit. It's not my preferred way. I use a lot of airbrush work and a lot of blends to create some really nice smooth transitions. I like vibrant colors. I like contrast in stuff. Black next to this incredibly bright blue. Why not? And all of this is going to go up against this extremely bright golden copper statue. You know, it's going to be great. So don't worry about comparing yourself to those sort of painters that have spent decades honing a craft to the absolute nth degree, because you're going to put yourself in a position where you're feeling very much that you can't paint. And that's not true. It's just that you maybe can't do that technique yet. And that's the thing to remember, is always add yet to the list of things that you can't do. Keep practicing, you'll get there. Right, we're going to do some freehand. So we need some oranges. We've got burnt orange. Let's see what other oranges we've got in these kits. So we're using the ProAcryl paints. We've got a normal orange, which I remember liking quite a lot. That's a good one. Proper tango orange. And in this box, have we got an orange? We've got burnt sienna. That might be a good base for some orange to go on top of. Orange is a weird paint, by the way. Most oranges are fucking terrible. Here's some orange that I was spraying earlier on. You'll notice it looks really patchy and awful. And that's actually intentional in this case. This is a little bit of a preview for this week's Patreon video, but there's a lot of silver and orange that goes on underneath this that I'm painting right now, which is obviously this really, really nice vibrant red. Looks very orange on camera, but trust me, in person this is pretty substantially red. Once we've got the other colours blocked in around it, you'll definitely see the difference. In fact, it might just help the camera out if we do that a bit. Just a touch. And that's Trollstate Orange. And Trollstate Orange is a really, really good orange. And this is basically all I've got. We'll have to get the yellow out as well. Let's go back to the base set and grab that golden yellow. So we want something to really highlight our orange with. But let's see, what's the damage on these ProAcryl paints? Can you get them on element? You can get them on element. You don't need to buy everything at all. I bought the base set 1, and then we bought expansion sets. Base set 2.0, and then expansion sets 1, 2, and 3. If you really like the finish that these have got, which is that really nice matte finish, then they're definitely worth it. They're about £3 a pop over here in the UK. I don't know if they are much different in the US where they're made, obviously. Expect them to be cheaper. £3 is about $4.20-ish, I guess, at the moment. But you are going to get quite a lot of mileage out of just the base set. I've used, I think, 2 paints, 3 paints. I'm about to use the 4th paint from base set 1, and I've used 2 paints, about to use the 3rd from base set 3, and we've used 2 of the transparent paints, and need to speak to Jason about how the fuck they're meant to work, because transparent, my ass. Right, so let's prep the palette. Here's another thing for beginner painters. You don't need to do it, and you certainly don't need to buy a massively expensive wet palette, but make yourself a wet palette. This is a container with a big fat yellow sponge, some kitchen rolls, like tissue paper, and then a little bit of white baking parchment. And that helps keep your paint workable for longer. Right? It's not going to last a couple of days, not really. It's certainly not going to last you weeks and weeks and weeks. But but it is going to help keep your paints alive, so you're not constantly remixing on a dry palette, where, if I'm honest, you spend more time fucking around with your paint trying to get it to work than anything else. So wet palette is definitely a game changer. And what I'm doing now is I'm just setting up the palette with a little dot of each of these paints, so that we can work in from there. Ooh, wow, that orange is bright. And get our freehand down. So we might do... I'm not going to do a hazard stripe, because we've got hazard stripes on all of my own knights, a couple of which are just there in the cabinet, which you can barely see. You'll see them a few times down here. They look a bit like Bumblebee. Scrivo! Hello, matey. How are you? Look at them now, looking at colour range, you know, myself a list, I think. Yeah, I would. Alright, Sergeant Rob says, can you explain your idea? Having a small dab of dish soap in the water pot, or do I misremember? I think that's somebody else. Certainly never something I've done. I wash my brush in there. Let me do this. I hate the taste of washing up liquid. Ever since my dad poured half a bottle of it down my throat as a kid because I called my sister a dickhead. Now, she was being a dickhead, she deserved it. I don't think I deserved having to drink that much washing up liquid. That was grim. But I shouldn't have called her a dickhead. You know, I know that. Right, we're going to do some check marks across here. I'm going to leave a little border, so we need to get some straight lines now. This is going to be time consuming. I want 2 squares high. And we'll start off with this burnt sienna as a base coat for our orange. So whenever you're doing freehand, you really can't fuck it up over blends like this, because fixing the blend is time consuming, very time consuming. So to get straight lines, look for things that you can use to guide you. So I'm going to use the bottom of these 2. These are meant to be for the, what do you call them? The safety rails and all that sort of shit. And what we're going to do is going to do a border around our squares that's ever so slightly thicker than that line. And the reason we're doing that is so we can keep these nice straight lines marked in, not be working around empty spaces like the voids in between the squares. When you consider someone to not be a beginner anymore, like, do you know any kind of marks to recognise you're getting far into the hobby? There isn't an answer for that. So, what would be let's try and work out for me the part where I suddenly thought, oh, I've got this. Because that's the bit you're asking, really. It's like, what's that step where you're fucking Neo and he dies in the Matrix and Trinity's losing her shit and he wakes up and he's like, no. You need that Neo moment, right? Knowing and understanding terminology, I don't think is it, because you could sit down and watch 100 hours of YouTube and know everything there is to know, but not be able to apply it. So what's your Neo moment? I think for me it was not necessarily one specific moment, but there were a lot of things I was just curious about trying. No, not first competition entry, because you could enter a competition with something that looks like dog shit. You know, that doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And certainly not first competition win, because that that doesn't matter. But for me, I think it was when I was sat down and something clicked. Instead of just having to sit there and try and work out, here's where this will have a highlight. You know, here's where that will have a highlight. And working it out on like a map or a super high contrast black and white photo or something along those sorts of lines. Instead of that, it just happens naturally, and you just know you're on like almost an autopilot. It's like this just works. So probably along that sort of thing, I still consider myself a novice of a great many things when it comes to the miniature hobby. There's lots of things that I'm good at, and there's lots of things that I'm not good at. But I guess as soon as things start becoming natural to you, as soon as you end up with this just always an instinctual, here's what I'm going to do, it'll be fine, that's when you know. I reckon that's the thing. And that moment might come quicker for some than for others, and it might never come for some. You know, you might never get to that point. That's the reality of what we do, right? There's always a chance that it's just not for you. You can enjoy it, but it might just be something you're destined to forever not be particularly great at. And that's totally fine. This is why in the work in progress gallery that we sort of go through here at the end of each stream, I'll give advice, I'll give completely unsolicited tips, things that you could do to your miniature, because then you've got the option. If you're someone that just paints to be like, here's my minis, they're done, now I can go and play some games, no issue with that. If you're someone that wants to improve your painting and win competitions, some of my Patreon students are those people. And there's so much potential when you apply yourself to something like a competition. So whilst I wouldn't say that that's when you stop being a novice, because I've seen many novices enter painting contests, one of the best things about entering a painting contest is your miniature is judged. And as part of that judging process, there's normally someone that's going to tell you why you didn't win. And having that feedback is really, really useful. Like I've got a shelf of trophies behind me, sort of buried. There's some there, there's some tucked in there. There's a stash of certificates around here somewhere for things like painting nominations. I've got an award from Andy Wardle. There was a bronze award from the Cult of Paint at an event they were sponsoring. You know, things like that. It's great. It's really, really good to have. But don't buy into it either. You're only ever as good as your last miniature. Don't let things like that have this weird success that goes to your head. Right, I need to concentrate for a second because I need to work out the measurements for our boxes. So if we do in the middle here, if I want each box to be about that wide, that puts the next one here, the next one here. What I want is to have the finish kind of equal, so like an almost finished box. So that's kind of close. So yeah, we lucked out on that. Maybe a slightly shorter one in from that side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit. But because we want squares, that means that this one comes up to here. That looks looks about a square. Sorry, I know it's difficult for you to see that on the camera, guys. Let me zoom in. See those little 2 orange dots we've got there? Most tilts. So that means then the next line comes up to just about here. And then we want to make that ever so slightly thicker as well, so we've got room for that border we were talking about. Okay, so now I need to draw a parallel line across here. Grabs! Yeah. Just trying to work out if that was meant to say scarabs, but scrabs. Thank you for the follow and welcome. So we've got to draw a parallel line across here now that's that far away. So now let's also give ourselves a few little reference points. So we're going to put some dots in that follow that line to make it a little easier for ourselves drawing this next line in. And then we also need one that follows this as our halfway line, except what we really don't want to do is draw a big thick line for this, because we don't want separation in our check marks, right? Who's seen check marks before where you have what looks like an actual chessboard, where you have a perfect square below a perfect square next to a perfect square and so on? That's what we want. What we don't want is what looks like a load of big squares next to a load of little squares, because you've drawn thick lines around everything. That's not right at all. Nice one, dude. Look, thank you very much, Jason, for sticking by. I really appreciate it. We'll hopefully see you again. Take care. Remember, Tuesday night, giveaway night for Volcana Betrayer, painted up in those old school heresy colours. Exclamation point gift. You get your votes in now on how you would like to see the base. Picture you're posting the bad that have been commissioned. That final that Golden Demon, people really commission minis and enter into comps under themselves. Yep. I don't get it either. I don't understand where that comes from, but equally there's a lot of things I don't understand about some of the players that play the games that we play. Because I would, for instance, I would never even consider cheating in a game of 40k. Not even for half a second. Because there is no point. I am there to win. I am there to beat my opponent into submission, to crush their list, and to take home the trophy. That's what I'm there to do. And cheating helps me do none of that, because then I haven't won. Blend is fine. Yeah, transition is basically the same thing. The transition is like this to this. The blend is how you got there. Now we're risking it all, painting some check marks. Oh yeah. I suppose this is one of the reasons, like one of the times when you know that you've done okay as a painter, because you're like, fuck it, we'll just do some checks. We'll just do some freehand. Yeah, freehand check marks. Check marks are easy. Honestly, all you've got to do is draw super straight lines. That's literally it. I know that makes the whole thing sound extremely trivial, and just drawing super straight lines isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world. But there are tips. Look at the way I'm holding the mini, for instance. You know, every time we draw a line, it's right down towards me. So here's our first check mark. And like I said, what we don't want to do is draw a line straight up here. It's not the way it works. just drawing the rest of that box. And then we'll very sort of gently colour that in. Just so we have a reference point, need that start point for it. Is my camera just being a dickhead? A little bit. So we're colouring this one in because this one is going to help us as a guide for everything else. Again, this comes down to paint consistency. Make sure you've got a little water in your palette. Always be thinning your paints down. I think that painting / sculpting in Laura is awesome, so great. So this is great. Thanks for answering my weird question. Hey, no worries, dude. We are here to answer any questions you may have. So fire away. I've been playing 40k since I was 8 years old, with a couple of small breaks where I found things like girls and things like rent needed to be paid more than anything else, I suppose. And I love it. It's definitely a game that has given me way more than I ever expected it to. We've gone from being someone that paints as a hobby and plays games as a hobby to a commission painter, just sort of making some extra cash on the side, to someone that literally makes a living now out of toy soldiers. This is my full-time job: Twitch streaming, YouTube and Patreon content creation, and commissions. So, Too Spruce, take care, bro. What's a brush brand you recommend? Exclamation point brush. Always Winsor & Newton Series 7 size 1s. Use that for everything, bro. Right, so notice how we're not drawing a load of lines in and then across and then colouring in squares. Instead, we're drawing each individual square. And the reason behind that is, and you'll see it once we get to about 8 squares of being done, we want our squares below to be the same size as our squares that we're painting on. So by below, I mean the purple blue. I want to leave that colour there and build everything else up. That's why we haven't just painted the whole thing as like one straight line of orange. That's why we've got these bands, top and bottom, to help keep that all in. So this line has to be ever so slightly to the other side of this line here. Because if it's directly underneath it, that means that square is smaller than that square. And it's barely perceptible, but you'll know. And so are the people looking at your mini. And that can't happen. As soon as that happens, check marks look like shit. It makes them tough. It makes them a very difficult thing to do. The only other option that you have is to basically block it all in like that and then come back in and correct everything. And to me that takes longer, so I'll do it this way. Can you imagine if the checker pattern was also a transition? What, you mean if each of these orange blocks went from dark to light? Because in about hopefully by the end of this stream that will have happened. Character keeps going out of focus tonight. It's because we're working so close to it and we've got such a massive shift in contrast. Also, anytime I lean forward, I think the light is just sort of having an issue as well, which is a shame. I'm not sure if there's anything I can actually do about that though, which is by far the bigger shame. Yeah, none of the check marks will be flat, but these are all getting highlights. That's why we prep the palette with all those paints. All we're doing for now is basically drawing the outlines for us to colour within in a minute. guessing my housemate's playing Warcraft because all I can hear is him yelling. Alright, let's work in this one. That line goes to about here. Do you do a transition through layers for things like this or glaze? Right. You have a habit of saying glaze like glaze is a thing that you do separate to everything else. It's not. Pinbot, what up? So don't think about glazing as like I can either do this or I can glaze. When you are applying layers of stuff, you can do it without glazing. So you can just put thick paint on top of other thick paint and build your layers up. And when I was initially highlighting stuff many years ago, that was basically what I would do. I would create a new mix of stuff and I'd put a highlight on something and then I'd wonder why it didn't ever look right. And it was because it obviously wasn't thinned far enough. Actually using a glaze means using paint that is extremely thin and that you will see through. And this is, I suppose, what you could call transparent paint. Because glazes, when they're applied correctly, you can't really see the effect that your paint has had on the miniature. You just see the miniature is wet. You see that you have clearly applied something to the model because there is a wetness where the brushstroke was. Yeah, that there. That, I'm not sure I can do much about it. Maybe it's just set on like a slightly weird increment on the focus. We'll just change that out and hope it stops happening. But almost every time I am going to apply another layer of paint to something, I've thinned it correctly. Is it always a glaze? No. Is it always thinned paint? Yes. Is thin paint the same as a glaze? No. So there's a lot of difference between just applying a thin coat of paint and applying a glaze. But glazing, like I said, is something that isn't, you can either do one thing or you can do a glaze, because chances are you're going to do glazes as well as other things, all in combination with each other to achieve an effect that you want. So for some of the highlights, we'll be using thin paint, but probably not a glaze. For some of them, we might end up using a glaze. Essentially, the more smooth you want your transition to be, the more you have to use glazes, because you're applying this tiny thin filter on top of everything that you do. But maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want something that's got a bit more of a physical effect. You want those brush strokes coming through. So there's always room for changing stuff. Alright, let's not do that line first. Let's come in from here and do this line first. There's that one. Need to get two in this area. Just has to come to there. By the way, this looks very dark at the moment, but it will quite definitely pop out to a really bright orange by the time we're done. Two cowboys are lost in the desert. One cowboy spots a tree draped in bacon. That's a bacon tree where safety says. He runs the tree and it's shot up with bullets. I'm waiting for I wasn't disappointed. It wasn't a bacon tree, it was a hambush. Well done, Gumbelina. Thanks very much for that. It's a particular circle in hell that has your name on. The whole circle. So that's not God's work you're doing there. Gotta learn the fundamentals. I like that. I like that. You've redeemed yourself ever so slightly. Right. Now back up to the top line. So again, we're working the line in just to the outside edge of our previous line. Remember all those stories I told you guys about working up in Lenton, painting 200 Gothorpe boys? Shoulder pad checks all had to be perfect. Well, how do you think I learned how to do this? Something about endless repetition of a small task like this. It is ever so slightly relaxing until you realise you've painted 1,000 tiny white boxes that day. And, My Amazing Pony, no, I normally forget what it is that I'm talking about though. So the mini we're fine. Sometimes we look down and we're like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, so and so. But most of the time it's I sort of go off on a tangent and forget to actually answer the question that someone's asked. That's much more common. To ever Jade a freehand a mural of the Emperor on a Warhound Titan. Yeah, one day. And why Warhound? Think big, bro. I've quoted somebody for a Warlord Titan. Don't think it's going to happen this year, but I think it's going to happen. I mean, the assembly is about a week long and requires some tools. The greatest trick GW ever pulled was convincing the world that intergalactic space hooligans could paint perfect checks on everything. Yeah, they got us all with that one, bro. So there's one mistake here, which is where our markings earlier on, there's a little bit of orange just there. So for that, to fix it, all we'll do is we'll get some of the purple and jade and the blue and mix them until we've got something that's kind of close. Then we'll glaze over the top of it several times until that just disappears into the background. Probably take about 3 passes. Deck Flow! Yo, dog! How you doing? Good to see you, brother. How was your stream? Orcs have scar in their jeans. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Always be skanking. Okay, so that's our base coat down for our check marks. Easy peasy, alright? Now we need to work up from this to our brighter oranges. And we want to get out of the darker pattern of this really, really quickly. So, first thing we need to do is grab some of that nice bright orange that we've got and mix a little of this burnt sienna into it. Volhan, thank you for the follow. Everyone, if you weren't already following Deck Flow as well, please just do give him a quick follow. Jaeger is... sorry, Jaeger. I even saw it with you and it's completely spaced. Has given us a shout out, so click that link, give him a follow. Right, so let's start off on one of the smaller checks, like this one. I'm going to paint in pretty much all of what we've just done. Right up to the edges, and then we'll grab the hairdryer quick, and we shall see what that's like when it's dry, because these ProAcryl paints, they are a little different when they're wet. I mean, giggity, but I'm sorry, bro. It's been a day of wearing the mask and airbrushing today, so my brain is kind of done. Right. So that's a much better orange. Notice how we've left the tiniest amount of that little line there at the edge to help give us a bit of definition on here, and we've got probably 3 coats upwards we can do from this. Poor excuses, mate. It's the shittest excuse, but it's also the reason. I could only apologise, brother. I got nothing. But we've done the hard part. The hard part was just draw the lines, and now it's just colour inside the lines. That bit's easy. We do that all the time. Everything we do is 3D painting by numbers if you really boil it down. It's only these bits that we miniature painters call freehand that everyone else just calls art. Like, what are you doing? I'm just doing some drawing. Or I'm just doing some painting. Cool, what are you painting? A chessboard. You know, we make such a big fuss out of the fact that we've drawn this freehand thing, whereas everybody else that's an artist of any description just does it. Madness, isn't it? So cool, and let's talk about some art. Let's talk about some freehand, shall we? Who in the stream, if there is, of course, anyone in the stream that's done it, has given freehand a go? Who's given it a shot? And what was your experience? How did you find it? What were your sort of pluses and minuses of the experience? Did it work? Was it easier than you thought? Was it harder than you thought? Did you get halfway through and go, well, I tried to draw the face of Horus, and what I've actually drawn is a potato with a squinty, lazy eye. I've drawn Russell Howard the potato. Hold up, let me go carve a mini out of this block of plastic. That's just sculpture. Sorry, that's been around for thousands of years, bro. That's not new. The plastic bit is different, but you know. Trying to do a thing on a curve or detail so it's a different story. Yeah, but not really. Once you've learned how to handle that, it kind of isn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the same as me just grabbing a sheet of paper and drawing a checkboard, where I could use a ruler and things. But, you know. Not yet, but once my paints arrive, I'll be freehanding signets on shoulder pads and backpacks. Good lad. Gotta do it. The thing that got me into freehanding is I decided that it was an area of my painting repertoire that needed a substantial amount of work because I wasn't good at it. And so what I decided was, well, for every single giveaway miniature that I do, I will find an area that I can apply some freehand to it, because if it doesn't work, well, it's a giveaway mini. The guy at the other end of the internet hasn't paid for anything, and I can at least just probably paint over it and it'll be okay. So every single giveaway mini we do some freehand on, and it's taken me call it about 9 months. Wow, I thought we'd stop that, but never mind. Took about 9 months before I started getting really comfortable with it. And it just became like, yeah, we're just going to do this. And admittedly, we're not recreating the Siege of Terror on this Armiger. We're painting some fucking orange squares. That's nothing. But it's still a step in the right direction, right? We're getting a lot more out of the miniature than we started off with. And we're learning a new skill that we can continue to work on. Attempt to freehand here and there. I get better and better with every attempt. That's it. You just gotta keep trying. Rebelson, what's the difference between what? Sorry. Dark design I have. I just can't do any kind of straight line or anything. So it transfers what comes on the model. That's fair. Straight lines. The way to do it is to draw towards yourself, basically, with the bristles. Yeah, keep these lines really short and work close to the end of the brush here. Don't work all the way back here and give it a go, because that's no. It's so me that my first models finish will have decently hard techniques that blends with glazes and wet blends and freehanding. I mean, yeah. I tried to make a thing once. When it was done, I was thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure a toddler can do better. Well, this is how we learn, right? In fact, that's a really, really good example. When you are a infant, a toddler, whatever, you try everything out for the first time. And you do about as well as you'd expect a toddler to do it. Why should a new skill, painting, freehand, whatever, when you attempt it as an adult, be much different? None of what we do is natural. You know, this isn't like swimming, say, where you could naturally have a good form. This is something that is very different. And yes, there are people that have talent, and talent is something that you're just born with. And if you're very lucky, it's something you can cultivate. But it's usually, when it comes to miniature painters, you don't have talent, you have skill. Because it's something you learn, you put time into, and you graft hard to get somewhere. And every now and again, the world sees somebody come up that has both talent and skill. And it's fucking amazing what they do. Sarah! Long time no speak. How are you, darling? Good to see you here, as always. Everybody, exclamation point Tufts, or exclamation point Rival. The Baroness of Bushes. The Grand Marquess of Grass. Can we get some more? The... no, that one went way out of control in my head. No. Nope. Not going to say that one. How are you doing there, Sarah? Hope everything's... well, actually, no, I don't hope everything's calmed down a little bit after your Christmas/New Year's sales. I hope you're still doing really, really, really well, in fact. I hope you're too busy. Tax returns. Yeah. Not looking forward to that part of being self-employed, I'm not gonna lie. Just, ugh. And I like math. I love doing maths. That's accountancy. I might end up just paying an accountant and just saying, right, there you go, sort it all out. But then, you know. So amongst the orders that I've been subbing onto my accounts, yeah, brilliant. No, I will definitely get everything filed on time, man, because they find the shit out of you if you don't. So, yeah, we've got a lot of learning to do. Try and fit that in amongst painting 80 hours a week. General Waffles, thank you very much for that follow and welcome. We're just painting checkerboard, because why not? Because every mini we give away must have freehand. And we have about 15 minutes before the whip, so we might or might not get these checkers finished off in time. It's looking like I might not, if I'm honest. I want to do a couple more highlights on this, and you can see that these are not smooth at all. These are not good layers. Orange is a pain to work with, and that's why I chose orange for this. We're still trying out all the ProAcryl paints, and we're really sort of push them and see what we can get out of them. And orange is a pigment that is usually extremely weak, and gives fucking terrible coverage and so on. I was kind of hoping the ProAcryl orange wouldn't be like that, but it's a bit like that. Self-specimen's pretty easy to do, only becomes complicated with limited companies. Okay, cool. That's good to know. I just made it really recently. I'm in to try it again, and my ego gets back off the floor, but now I just need some more minis primed before next time. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we've got a lot of learning to do, so we'll have to go and sit with the various governments' websites open and just read up on everything. For me, I'm not sure how much it will affect things trading globally, because I have clients in various different countries, mainly US and Europe. So there might very well be various tax implications for all that shit as well. Who knows? Who knows? This is why, especially for the first year or two, I might just go, right, accountant person, here is some money, here is a list of things. We'll see. Right, let's start doing these straight lines and filling up these boxes at the same time. Block those in, we'll come down and meet it with these. And that border, top and bottom. Like this. Just paid for Zero accounting up. It's the first thing that apparently was still set up. I can put in daily and reconcile accounts and stuff. Nice. Nice. You have a lot more going on than I do though. Like for instance, next month I have 2 commissions. That's it. I have income from Twitch, income from Patreon. Hopefully eventually income from YouTube. But that's it. I don't have. This store ordered 10,000 packs of green tufts and 100 kilos of basing material. I imagine that the biggest thing is like material costs and stuff like that. So like whenever I buy paint, that's a business expense. Whenever I buy giveaway models, that's a business expense. That's right, guys. I better put that in models that I give to you people as a business expense. So but then you get this really weird, like, how far do I take this kind of world? And I'd rather live on the safe side than take the piss. Because for me, going to an event is a business thing. I've always treated it as such. I'm there to meet new people, to network, to advertise my business as a commission artist. And one of the ways I do that is by making sure I'm on table 1, 2, or 3 towards the end of the tournament. With a nicely painted army. Oh, that'd be awesome, dude. Is true metallic metal essentially layering with metallic paints? Yes and no. You don't always use metallic paints in true metallic metal. It just means that you're painting metal and there is an element of metallic element in there. So some sort of silver fleck or gold fleck or whatever. But it doesn't mean that every paint you've used is metallic. Like you could mix whites, greys, blacks, blues, reds, purples, greens, whatever in with it. But because there is something there that has metal in it, that's true metallic metal. Yeah, not loving this orange paint. It's not as good as I hoped it was going to be. But hey, most orange paint, fucking terrible. Taking your own painted army to showing off your product, absolutely right, absolutely. Yeah. That's why I'm thinking definitely just get an accountant for year 1. Remind me of thanking Brick for putting me here. This channel is great. My amazing pony, thank you very much. I'm really glad you like it. Hopefully you'll stick around. I'm gutted that Brick couldn't be here. Say hello. He's a decent guy. I've chatted to him on his channel a little bit. Chatted to him on this channel a little bit. He's a good dude. He takes the game about as seriously as I do as well. So. Sound. Yeah, this orange is pretty shit. And that's not a reflection on the ProAcryl range at all. Most oranges, like I've said, are pretty shit. Orange pigment isn't a strong pigment at all. Requires a lot of work to get a smooth orange on anything that you haven't airbrushed, basically. And this is why orange is one of those colours that you frequently see on competition and display minis, because if someone's painted orange, it's worth going and having a look at. So it draws the eye in and you get that bit of interest. It's also why on my knights that have the hazard stripes, I've used orange to help accentuate the shadow on the hazard stripe itself, because again you get that extra bit of contrast, which I'm always after, but you also get that like, ooh, orange. Orange is a great colour for contrast as well. I mean, look at how much it pops off against the purple, the blue that we've got here. Works really, really, really well for that kind of thing. You think mixing your own between available colours would be a better option? I tried it with ProAcryl stuff last time, where we did the reds on Minotaur, and we've got just enough time to get one more coat in on this before we call it quits and go to a bit. It didn't work so well. So Kador red mixed with Flash Gitz yellow gives you a really, really, really nice transition through to a slightly orange red. Yeah, you're only putting a little bit of yellow and you're good. Baz the Brit, fuck me sideways. That's a name I've not read in a while. How are you, dude? Good to see you. Yeah, so I gave it a go with that, and it really didn't worry me at all. with the ProAcryl stuff. Kato Red, Flash Hits Yellow, those two, the best red, the best yellow, they work really, really well. The ProAcryl range doesn't quite do it as well, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, these are great paints, but what I am comparing them to is the absolute best red that I've ever used and the absolute best yellow that I've ever used. And so that's a hard thing to stand up to. Sorry to hear that, Baz. I mean, if you need to reach out, you know, you always get in touch on Discord, say hi. Rough. That is rough. My other half had her vaccination yesterday. She works with young adult, well, just not even young adults, but she works with people that have various disabilities, whether it be developmental, physical, mental, you know, whatever. And obviously there is a shortage of people that can do that kind of thing. So as frontline care style staff, she got her vaccination quite near the front of the queue. And she's felt a little bit like out of it since. It was only last night, but she was kind of feeling a bit down physically anyway. And so of course having that on top for her body to have to process has kind of knocked it out of her a bit. But fortunately she hasn't had, and I haven't had, the full brunt of the virus. So I'm glad that she hopefully won't have to go through that. She's not an at-risk person by any means, but I'd also rush to have like the feeling of death for 2 weeks or whatever. The special kind of person to do that job, bless her, mate, she's a fucking superstar. I am extremely fortunate that I met her. Not wanting to get all soppy and stuff, but after my divorce, I didn't think I'd ever find another woman that I was able to be as comfortable, like myself, as comfortably as I do with her. So it's been, yeah. How did you meet? Tinder. I'm not even going to hide it. Right, so I hate all that shit. I really, really do. Okay, well, we'll delay the whips. I'll tell you a different story about why I hate dating sites. Firstly, with Tinder, obviously, it's usually based on this, and let's not play to my strengths here. You know, I have a mohawk to draw attention away from the face and a beard to cover the rest of it. My best light is darkness. So yeah, Tinder already is a bad place for me to be in general, but my general hatred of dating sites stems from many years ago. I signed up after being single for 6 months and just not enjoying it. I signed up to a website called Match.com, and their gimmick was that they would take your profile and you'd answer a quick questionnaire of stuff, and they'd match your answers, that, you know, things that you liked or didn't like or whatever, and they would match you with other people, hence the name. And I'd recently broken up with this girl called Kate, like I said, it was about 6 months ago, and just hadn't wanted to go out and stuff. So, well, fuck it, let's give this a shot. You know, see if I can just chat to somebody. That's all I wanted. So I filled out the questionnaire and asked you know, what you like, dislike, all these sorts of things. Oh no, not religious at all. Maybe the one, if you've got one out there that is called that, maybe that one is, but over here it certainly wasn't. Anyway, filled out this thing, and it comes back with 3 matches for you based on its library of people. And you can specify like within a certain area and all that, because obviously there's no point in getting matched with somebody from 150 miles away if you don't drive or whatever, right? And it came back 92% matched. I'm like, okay. Let's check this girl out. It was the girl I'd just broken up with 6 months ago. Not even, it's not, I'm not joking. That's honest gospel truth. So I messaged her and said, I think this is complete bullshit because we were not 92% compatible. Wow, yeah. So that's why I hate all those things. But during lockdown, I was literally in the house, left to get food shopping, and that was it. And the only person I saw was my housemate. And Ben's a decent guy. He is. Like, really is. But I just wanted to talk to somebody that wasn't him. So I signed up to Tinder, and I didn't pay for their fucking gold service or anything. I wasn't interested at all. Yeah, I know, right? It's hilarious. And that's how we met. You know, I was on Tinder for probably 6 weeks or so, and I matched with a couple of girls, and they all bored the fuck out of me within about 20 minutes of chatting, because there was no personality. It was just the most vapid, idle, chit-chat shit. And I can't cope with that. I thought, oh, what are you doing? Oh, nothing, just watching telly. What about you? Like, well, okay, I'm not going to talk to you about my Warhammer stuff, but, you know, oh, I'm at work, I'm doing an art commission for somebody, something like that. And they just reply with, oh, nice, sounds cool. The dog's been a right shit. Just, come on. Somewhere in there is a personality, I'm sure. Just fucking let it shine. Right, I'm just going to do a quick highlight on the top and bottom lines, and then we go into the whip. So if you've got something that you would like to show off, if you've been working away during the stream, painting your toys while I've been painting somebody else's, then by all means, show us what you've been doing. Exclamation point whip, or exclamation point Discord, and then go to the Work in Progress channel, put up some pictures of what you've been working on, 3 or less, because any more than that, we start monopolizing on time. I want to make sure that everybody can show off their stuff, and I feel bad about skipping your shit, so please don't make me feel bad about skipping it, and just only put a few things. Nothing but fishing for Insta follows from what I've seen so far. Well, I'm sure if it's going to happen for you, mate, it'll happen for you. But I think as a whole, all of those things are fundamentally flawed. In that, because you have a image that you are trying to get somebody to go, oh, I like that, it's probably false. My Instagram, I don't have a personal Instagram, I have a business Instagram. The reason I don't have a personal Instagram is because I deleted my profile, because I started to find myself doing things for Instagram. And as soon as I realized that, I fucking got rid of it. I'm the only person, as far as I'm concerned, that makes decisions for things inside my life. I try and be conscious of other people, friends, family, loved ones, you know, and how my decisions may impact them. But I certainly don't want this weird internet number of likes to influence what I do. And all of these kind of dating sites that require an image of you are asking you to do something to ideally positively impact somebody else so that they like your thing. whatever it might be. And so what you actually end up putting on there is not your life, but it is a ideal version of your life. And that's so false, I hate it. Right, I don't hate this. Here's most of our checker pattern done. No, we're not finished on that. We've got another couple of highlights to do. We've got a little bit more blending to do just to smooth out some of these panels. Because you can see there's a little bit of a blend, but it's really rough. It's not even a blend, it's a transition, but it's really rough. Chroma PT, cheers for the follow. But yeah, get in there. So we've got our blues, that's going to go up on here. You can see we're now getting even more separation with what we've got there. On the next stream we work on this guy, it will be... Oh, it might not be tomorrow night's Hellstorm stream. I think it probably would be, but it may not be. Exclamation point gift in the chat. We need to find out how Khan's bases go. So Khan is being given away on Tuesday. This guy is my birthday gift to you all. It's my birthday on Tuesday, and we're going to paint this guy in about 8 hours and give him away. We're painting him in the old school blue and white colour scheme for the World Eaters. So that's going to be a lot of fun to paint. We need to know how we're going to base him, and right now it's dead heat. Dead heat between Skulls and Blood and Warp themed. Now I haven't voted, so if we end up with a dead heat by the end of the stream, I get the swing vote, and it could be either of those two. I'm happy kind of with each. So maybe just dice for it. But if you have got what is Warp theme, your guess is as good as mine. I asked that. There was Warp theme and Xenos Planet right down there towards the bottom. And when they were suggested, I said, "What do you mean by that?" And they went, "Oh, I don't know, anything." Okay. It gives me plenty of creative license to come up with something then. So Warp theme could be whatever I choose it to be. Potato chips. That's I've seen someone base their minis with Doritos at a tournament because they had literally nothing else and they needed to get them on the table, so they based them with crushed up nacho cheese Doritos. Shit. Currently Warp themed in the lead there. But exclamation point gift, there's a link just there. In fact, Jaeger put that in earlier on. Notice it wasn't Des. And you can go and vote for that. So we might end up doing the base for him on tomorrow night's Hellstorm stream. So that's twitch.tv/Hellstorm Wargaming, where myself and Mikey from Hellstorm do some hobby, or at least I do some hobby. Mikey chats shit for a bit. It's usually something along that sort of line. But that'll be tomorrow night. We'll probably be doing that, and we'll be back on this guy on Thursday because Khan is being painted on Tuesday. So very much fun. Let's go check out Discord though. Let's see who's put some stuff in the whip gallery. Starting off with Admiral Ants. He says, working on a sorcerer in Terminator Army for my Death Guard army. Never used green stuff before this, but I think it came out decent. But he's looking cool. I'm guessing tentacle arm, holding big spiky Kajigger. Ooh, hello. Not just tentacle arm. Nice, got some pretty rank looking tumors. Black. Got my Facebook, and it's mostly for the local US muscle car scene, my Hot Wheels collection, and random memes. Nice, bro. Muscle cars for life. That was one of my favourite things about Cuba, was all that. I like how you've shoehorned the last two picks into one pick. I'm digging it. Well done. Yeah, nice work on the tentacles and stuff, mate. Nice little bit of conversion work. I'm assuming then this guy is just a malignant plague caster as far as the Death Guard work goes. Do they have Chaos Sorcerer now? I don't even know if they had it before. They might have done. It looks good though, dude. Quality work. They do. Nice, 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 nice. Gotta love those Terminators, mate. Jay Butterworth, working on the base for my Breath Ashmantle model. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So I'm assuming that this is going to be some form of potentially lava river because breath. I love that little Space Marine trying to get out of the base. That looks great. One quick thing: when you do apply whatever it is to the base that he's crawling out of, please do make sure that it goes over part of his armor and it helps sort of embed him in the scene rather than just placing him at the scene. There's a big difference. You've done it with the little bit of masonry there, so I've no doubt that you'll do it with him as well. Loving that, mate. I'd love to see it when the dread's on. That's quality. Exploding Fruit. Remove the bug bits and sculpting conduit instead. I know bug bits should be fine next to my dread, but I didn't like it. Oh, okay, cool. Got a small photo. Let's blow that up a bit. Nice. I even see a green stuff world tentacle roller. Those things are great. They're super, super good. This looks like the world's biggest, fattest maggot. I don't know if that's intentional or if it's just the color of the milliput, but it looks grim. Looks grim. Good work, man. Loads of people with some Death Guard whips today, which is great. Demon Badger. Yes, here we go. Still got a few minor bits to finish off on this, like the horns / claws and a few of the details on the guy as well. What a great little diorama this is. It's a dude resting a dragon. The bit you can't see there is his arm. He's like reaching into the guy's mouth and just forcing his head down. It's a really, really cool bit of painting work. There's loads of things I like about this. The dragon specifically, for me, does it. He looks great. The real cool blue-grey, and it's the fiery red to orange. Absolutely crushing it, dude. There he is. He's got his hand right in that thing's mouth. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Fucking brilliant, mate. Keep it up. Love your work. Absolutely love your work. That rock on the base as well is so nice. Loving it. Crazy Act. Here he is. Oh, sorry. Belisarius Call. My Amazing Pony. See? All it comes down to is just getting some paint on. You know. Developing your style and just keep going. This looks great. I've got one of these, like I said earlier on, they're like 6 pieces on my desk at the moment. Crazy Anked, being a crazy fool, did this all in one piece. Now I've done this model in one piece before, and it is something I will never do again. In fact, I think I'd rather have a catheter inserted without any kind of anesthesia than paint that in one piece. Great work, dude. Really, really good work. There's loads of details that I've noticed on this as I've been putting it together that you don't see. So Solar Eradicator, which is the gun at the front, he's got his 2 arms at the top doing this. And what you don't see is that there is an arm just underneath that. There's a control panel under the gun, and he's basically playing with like a set of dials and a slider underneath the gun with this other arm. So he's got a hand there. He's got those 2 hands up here. He's got another little gimpy hand holding the keys. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's the hand holding the big axe, 5. The hand holding the other, well, it is the other gun, so that's 6. Then he's got all the mechanites. Just hang on. Never painted Morty in one piece. Like, I really wouldn't. Worse than Aeronautica. Aeronautica's really hard to paint because all the details are fucking tiny. There's no escape from that. But, you know, great work, dude. Really great work. I like the little splashes of colour, because you've got the red, you've got all that pigment across the base, holding that all down, but then you've got these nice bright yellows, this little bit of blue that's in there, here and there. Makes all the difference, helps you draw your eye to all of the details in the miniature. And some solid base work, as always, from you, bro. Really, really well done. Exploding fruit again. Here's some more maggots. Nice, dude. Very nice. I was about to applaud you, and then I realised you wouldn't hear it. Hey! I'll give you one for you, mate. There you go. We'll share that one. Des, Vanguard Vets. Still want a few parts. Liking the Assault Intercessor poses for him, though. Yeah. I think if I ever did like mini marine things, so whether it would be Vanguard Vets, Death Company, Sangard, these sorts of things, I'd use the Phobos Star Marines for it, because they're not as up armored and therefore they're ever so slightly smaller, and if you give them the jump packs, if you give them all of the accoutrement of whatever it's meant to represent, I think that'd be a really, really good way of going about it. This works too, though, man. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Wolverine on deck. Do you not find the arms ever so slightly too small for this? Because they're about, I'd say about 3 mil too short, which doesn't sound like much. You know, it's 3 mil for Christ's sake. But yeah, I wonder if you've done anything to help any of that out. That's a solid running pose, though. My attempt at green stuff cables, far too chunky. Yes, they are. They also don't look particularly round. They look like they've got a bit of a flat side to them. Guitar string is a good way to go for stuff like this. And you can just super glue that in place from what I've been led to believe. I've never done it myself, but if you're going to do it with green stuff, then the green stuff tentacle maker tool from Green Stuff World is really good. I've got that in the drawer. In fact, we saw it earlier on in the shop with the maggots. It's this thing. Tubes, tentacles and wires roll maker, and basically you get these 2 sections here, and then some plates. So you put this that way into there, and then these act as a guide, and you sort of slide that along the top, and it gives you a ribbed, for both yours and her pleasure, textured tentacle. That's just going to get even weirder. They're really good. I think this was about £7 to £10. I can't remember. Well useful for things like that. Good work though, mate. Looks good, Devastator. Is it meant to be an Eradicator with a multi-melter? Because he's not got Gravis armor. Or are you just doing Devastators you don't want ribbed. In that case, you use this side, the flat side, and then you just do that, and you end up with nice smooth cables. Doing it on some cling film or saran wrap if you're from US or whatever, and then letting it cure for about 20 minutes. It just has a little bit of a bend to it still. And the other thing you can do, which I've done before, but I can't remember what on it, might have been an old Blood Bowl team that I had, is put a tiny wire core in and wrap that with green stuff. Oh shit, it was on the Ghost Ark, Doomsday Ark conversions I did recently. Because then you can bend that after the fact, and that will take the green stuff with it. Just be careful you don't break the green stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff a lot. The Drunk Mystic, tied up the checks like you said, as best I could anyway. Pretty pleased with them. We've been doing checks all night tonight. They look much better, dude. Let's get another shot of the leg. We'll go through this one first. There you go. Look at that. So before, this was a case of big boxes and then little boxes and then big boxes, because of like drawing these big thick red lines everywhere, and the white is this smaller box and the red is this larger pattern that fits around it. None of that. I'm glad you've managed to do that. I'm glad as well we managed to give you a showcase on how that works this evening as well. So, nice. Loving your Pro Elves there, man. Very nice flamboyant colour scheme, lots of bright colours. Quality work. Quality work. My Amazing Pony, just cleaning this absolute mess I got off the Swedish eBay. So much glue. Oh, eBay rescues. It's a tough one, that, isn't it? Try running forward by hand on cling film, left right stuff together. Unfortunately, they change shape by pushing together. You got to be careful with it, mate. Things like how much water you've used to try and keep them non-stick and stuff really changes the way they dry. I feel like I had to post more, and I made those yesterday. Oh, nice, dude. I'm assuming that's maybe like a snow/ice base. Was this using PVA glue and super glue? It looks like that kind of finish. It's cool though, man. I love creating bases. Painting coffee. Oh, right. Okay, cool. So you've made like a pumice, like a textured paint. Nice. Nice. See? The crazy things that we can do with our hobby, right? Nice, bro. Well, look. I'm looking forward to seeing this guy put on one of these bases. Alright? And then some paint put on him. Give it a shot. Show us what you've done afterwards. Crazy Yanked. NR 7 to 12. Oh, number 7 to 12. I guess. Crazy Yanked is one of the few people in the stream that painted more minis than I did last year, and I did 467 minis last year. We're probably not going to beat that score this year, but we've got a lot more quality work to do rather than quantity work to do, I think. So 530 something. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was good scores, man. Love it, mate. You know me. Anything bright yellow is great. Good work, champ. Good work. Right, we are done for the evening. So here's what we eventually finished painting. We've got more highlights to do on this to get that to a really, really bright orange. My count was 1460 for last year, but you get the quality points. Holy shit, balls, dude. That's madness. 1460 puts you at about 4 minis a day. I'm assuming you've taken like weekends off and stuff, right? But that's not bad. That's not bad at all. My threshold for a lot of half finished stuff, so a lot of stuff that you finished the other half of, or a lot of stuff you started but didn't finish, because that doesn't count as a finished mini, you know that, right? Yeah, like a couple of big projects for me was the 90 odd Plague Bearers and so on, the 110 Necrons and so on and so on. So, started previously and finished last year. Fair dues, man. That's some great work. Good numbers. Let's see, what have I painted so far this month? Finished models for me this month. We've done an Apothecary, a Minotaur, Anrakir, the Void Dragon, the Silent King, and his minions. I won't count the individual dudes on the thing, right? Yeah. That's all. So far in 17 days we've done 7 minis. Yeah. Woo. I am so far behind. Anyway, let's go find out who is still on Twitch, what they're streaming, and let's pass this the love, the hobby love, on to somebody else. Reiner is about. We raid Reiner a lot. We do raid Reiner a lot. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go a bit like last time. We're going to browse and we'll search for the minifigures tag. Jaeger, you take care, bro. And we'll see who's got what, because last time we found a great streamer doing some epic work. I know Studio J7 is going to finish in about 15 minutes or so. Nothing here is really making me want to go, yes, we'll raid this person. Someone playing LOL, someone playing The Sims, fuck no. Wow, a lot of miniature figures tagged that aren't actually doing anything involved in hobby at all. I'm not interested in Gunpla. I'm not interested in raiding Captain Madlove today. We raided her last week. Alright, well, in that case, I guess you can go and raid Ryboog or Studio J7. Studio J7, redeem the raid. There we go, that's where we go. So when we get there, tell James, that James, not this James, where you come from by spamming those emotes. Like I say, he will be finishing up in about 15 minutes though, so when you get there, obviously, be prepared for a short stay before you head off somewhere else. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, tomorrow night is the Hellstorm stream at 6 PM, where we'll probably be doing Khan's base. And Tuesday, it's Khan Day. Peace out, everyone. We'll see you there.